Hello and welcome back. Does anyone remember all these lovelies? Well, there's two additional lovelies from the last time we looked at these guys. These are the phalaenopsis that Ken from the Orchid Supply Store sent me. He was going to toss them, asked me if I wanted them. I was like, sure, they're phalaenopsis. Of course I want them. For those of you who've been watching me for a while know that that is still my favorite genus of orchid. So we're going to do a quick update on all of them. And what I did is I did add two of the phalaenopsis that I received in the second rescue order that we'll do an update on in another week or so. They're still kind of figuring things out. I will give you a heads up, there is a casualty. There might be two by the time we get to the update, so keep a lookout for that. And if you are going to keep a lookout for that, go ahead and subscribe, hit that notification button so you know when I post that. All of these are doing marvelous. Phalaenopsis, I kind of know what I need to do a rescue. And for those of you who have not seen my post or Nina's post from Ninja Orchids, we are actually going to be doing a live on the 16th, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So I don't know what that is across the world, but it will be 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is my time. If you want to join in, we'll be more than happy to have you. We are going to be talking about rescuing phalaenopsis, so perfect time to jump in there and ask those questions, give that advice of your experience on how you do it in your environment. I grow here in the living room in Denver, Colorado. Nina grows in southern Spain, most of the time outside, and 90% of her collection is in a leca setup. 99% of my collection is in a bark, moss, bark and moss, just bark. So we do have two different styles of growing, two different environments. You might find something that will be useful for you in your environment, or you may be able to add to the conversation. We'd love to have you. Again, Friday the 16th, 9 a.m., be there. Now, let me get a sip of coffee, and we are going to talk about the ladies. I'm so excited, guys. I am so excited. Hold on. A little bit of ASMR there. All right. So I was going to try to go into the order in which I numbered them. So let me do that. So this is a number one. So number one, let me move these out of the way so I don't tip them over. Again, I am the clumsy one. Let me move that one because that one and that one are the two that I added in, or the three. Nope, it's three I added in. So the original grouping was 5 phalaenopsis orchids. And just so you guys know, the way that I receive the orchids is from the shipping that Ken got, so that is why he couldn't sell them. It's not like he just doesn't take care of his orchids. I want to put that out there. Most of the time, his stuff comes great. And by most of the time, I mean that things that are in his control. These, however, when they were shipped, got a little damaged, so obviously he couldn't sell them. He was going to bin them, and you know, blah, blah, blah. Let's get to orchid number one. So orchid number one, I don't see any roots quite on the outside yet. However, she is growing that beautiful leaf still. It did continue to extend. She is still staked on either side to help hold her a little steady, because if you can see, she is still a little wobbly in that pot, and I'm not quite ready to take that stake out until I start seeing some roots in this pot. So that is the status of Miss Lady number one. And she is drying out here, but that is from damage. It's not from sunburn or anything like that. It's just mechanical damage. And they've been living in the small bedroom that is a southwest facing window. They haven't been sitting at the window. They've been sitting on a little table right to the side of it. So they've got a little dappled lighting throughout the day. But other than a couple of them, I think they're ready to be integrated into a la famille of orchids here inside the living room. And then this is number two. So Miss Lady number two, she has not skipped a beat since she got here. I mean, she has some mechanical damage here on the leaves. I'm sure eventually this leaf will senesce away. This one here had a little bit of mechanical damage as well. But as far as growth, that leaf that she had, if you can see, not quite as big as number three, but getting there. I did not have to stake her, but if I can let me move. Well, I really don't want to move it because I have it set in there, but I'm going to see if I can show you. She does have a new root growing. I'll take a picture of it and post it somewhere on the screen so you can really get a close-up, but she has a new root coming in. So excited about that. And then this one is numero 3. So this is the one that I was kind of worried about. So that part of the leaf, I'll post the original video down below so you can see how she looked when I got her. But this leaf was bent pretty badly. Well, it ended up senescing, drying off, and falling off on its own. She does have a little piece of dry here. I'm leaving that alone for now. She does have that that leaf still growing, nice and shiny. And she's got the beginnings of some root nubbins down there. So I'm going to put some small bark around this area to kind of hold the moisture, to encourage those little nubbins to go ahead and sprout. That's one of the things that I do. You can use moss. I'm hesitant to use moss. She's already stressed, and I don't want to keep that area too wet and then rot the stem of, there she is, rot the stem here. So my workaround for that is to put small bark in that area, and then even though it's bark, it dries out quicker. It'll hold on to that moisture a little bit longer than the larger bark that they're in. And then number 4 is this beauty that, let's see if I can see them. Nope. So I don't see any new root growth on her quite yet, but she is still working on this leaf. So it is still tender. She's not hardening off quite yet. And she just looks happy to me. Like, I am not stressed about this one at all, but I wasn't too worried about her at the beginning either. My 2 cakeys here that came together. Growing slow, but growing. So the leaf is still extending on this one. And if I move this leaf, you can kind of see that one is still growing as well. I expect this one underneath to grow a little bit slower until she kind of gets into her own and is able to reach the light more. But again, I think all 5 of these are ready to be integrated in with their sisters on the varying shelves. I have to find space for them, but believe I will find space. Now, the ones that I added in were the phalaenopsis that I received in the second, what I'm going to call rescue haul. Again, these were orchids that Ken was going to bin, and oh, I made a rhyme. Look at me. But he sent them to me, so these ladies are doing well, with the exception of these. Now, this one in the back, not too concerned. I think she'll just keep on going. I think it'll be a minute before she really gets into her own. But she does have a lovely new root getting ready to pop out. And this leaf that she came with is still growing, and she is just propped up against this stake. I don't have her strapped on. Now, this one, I did strap her to the stake to hold her steady because she was the weaker of the 2, and you can see, like, she does not look very good. Good news, and I noticed it this morning, we have a beautiful new leaf coming in. So there is still hope for her. I'm a little concerned on this piece. I'm going to save her, though. It's my mission in life. My mission in life. You know, everyone has a mission. That's mine. And this one here, again, all of these are no IDs for the moment, aside from the one that I just showed you here. This one is Phalaenopsis MS Pink Brook. So the rest of them do not have the tags on them. Now this one, I really like her in this square pot. Isn't that cute? Again, you can get these at the Orchid Supply Store. As a matter of fact, everything that you see here, pots, media, plants, orchids, phals, you can get at the Orchid Supply Store with that 12% discount. Go get you some. And I promise yours aren't going to look like this. These are ones he was going to throw away. So, but look at this beautiful leaf here. Isn't that gorgeous? I love the anthocyanin on there. Now she is senescing this bottom leaf. Not worried about that because it is one of the bottom 2. So kind of expected. Her roots are doing fine. You can see a little piece of a root right there. And I did crock this with some large bark at the bottom because she does have a few roots but not enough to keep this wet. So because it is small, medium bark mix in here, I wanted to kind of shorten the pot a little bit, make it a smaller pot, and that's what I did. And this is just the Vandabark, actually. I had some pieces laying around I didn't use, and that's what she is in. But I think she'll be fine. Pretty confident she'll pull through. And then the last one, and I lied when I said they didn't have names. Look at me with a tag here. So this one is Phalaenopsis Long Pride Sun-Kissed MP1729. She has already lost one leaf, so she's down to the 2 leaves. However, and you can't see it, but I can see it when I get it in really good light, she has a new leaf coming. So that is going to be what I am going to be banking on, because in my experience, and it doesn't happen all the time, but 99% of the time, there I'm rhyming again. I must be a poet today and didn't know it. There I go again. Anyway, in my experience, 90% of the time, when they start new leaf growth, new root growth generally follows. Is that 100%? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not saying that. What I am saying, in my experience, and of all the orchids that I have, Phalaenopsis are the ones that I've grown the longest, almost 30 years now, if not longer as far as the phals go. I've always had a phal in my life. And in my experience, and correct me in the comments if this is not your experience, but when you get a new leaf, generally you will get new roots to follow. Doesn't happen all the time, but 99% of the time, that's my experience. So I am excited to see what these ladies are going to do. So this one and this one, and only because of the struggling one here, I'm probably going to put back in the more subdued light area just to kind of let them recover probably for another month. So when we look at them next month, hopefully this one here has done something and we see lots and lots of root growth going on with all the leaf growth. Leave your comments below on how you rescue your orchids, and remember to join Nina and myself on the 16th of March. Oh my goodness. See, you guys, I don't know what day, I don't know a month, I don't know anything. The 16th of June, 2023, live, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, talking about orchid rescue, specifically Phalaenopsis rescue. Now, we all know how lives go. We might trickle off onto other conversations of how to rescue other orchids, but the main topic will be phals. So if you have a question on an orchid that is not a phal and how to rescue it, I'm sure between me, Nina, and the other participants that are going to be in the comments, someone's going to get you an answer. Hope to see you there.